Now, if you don't know that song by the Geto Boys, then you're not a Houstonian. The legendary rap group put Houston on the map, and one of its members is the iconic Bushwick Bill. Bill started with the group as a dancer and then elevated to rapper. He's made a long list of solo albums on his own, and there's more to come. Unfortunately, Bill shocked the world earlier this month when he announced he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. But Bill ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep him right here on The Factor Uncensored, right here in this world, and he joins us with his son on The Factor Uncensored today, Young No. We want to welcome you guys to The Factor Uncensored. Good to see you, sir. You doing all right?
Yes, sir.
So, obviously, you made the announcement back in early May 1st, that you were diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, stage 4. How are you doing now?
It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of meditation. It's a lot of taking yourself out of the equation. For me, it has to do with no woe it's me. It's more prepare for the battle each day. You know, just know that it's a battle. You know what I mean? And the things that bother me the most is like, if you call someone and you say, I'm putting together a benefit to help my situation with pancreatic cancer, and everybody agrees, then all of a sudden it turns into a tour that has nothing to do with my situation. So it's kind of really hard to how to feel certain things, but I love Geto Boys. As a group, love them. Individually, love them. But the title to this tour, The Long Goodbye, I mean, I'm the one that knows that pancreatic cancer is one of those iffy things. That there is no, yeah, you could do 6 months of this and you'll be okay, or a year of this and you'll be okay. So the title itself bothers me.
Right.
So that's a lot of stuff that I'm going through. And then reason why I had to make the announcement was because I went to the rodeo and I had a hat on and I just did chemo, so I had a cowboy hat on, and the chemo makes you get hot and cold flashes. So I looked like I was just sweating, like for no apparent reason. The picture just looked weird. And my daughter said people were making weird comments and it bothered her, so then I was like, well, then I had to tell her when she called me about the internet. I was like, well, the doctor finally told me what stage it is and exactly what the situation is. The next 90 days of chemo determines what they're gonna tell me, like this much more treatment could do this, or it doesn't matter what we do, you gotta cut out half your stomach like we said originally, we gotta cut off half of your pancreas, half of your liver, half of your liver and bladder, and then we're still gonna give you chemo, but your body's not gonna be able to accept it. That means possibility that you'll die. I mean, these are the thoughts that I have. You know, between trying to figure out the group, not getting upset with me not liking a title that doesn't speak life.
Have you had that conversation with Willie D and Scarface as of yet?
I've spoken to Willie so far. I haven't had an in-depth conversation with Face yet, but I just don't like the title. It doesn't speak life, and it's like, I'm raised Jamaican with people with strong belief, and we believe that life and death is in the power of the tongue. You know what I mean? And I believe that if the tour is speaking life, I'm with that. But if I get on stage and perform, then I'm agreeing that I'm starting a journey on a long goodbye. That means I know I'm dying and I don't know how soon or how long. It's like, I don't even want to entertain those thoughts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And how tough is it to even think about that, though?
That's the whole thing. It's like, I love my kids, and it's like, the thing that bothered me the most when I really got the news was how many entertainers, right, don't leave anything for their kids or never thought that far ahead that something might happen to them.
Right.
So my first line of attack was, Bill, you need to do a bunch of music because your old music gonna sell regardless. That got nothing to do with your kids. You know what I mean? I'm sure there'll be love and things issued and given to them, but no one has to actually do anything from your old records and give them anything. It's not a must. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna let old record sales and your kids starve? Or you're gonna create new records, new moments, new everything. So from I got the news, I'm up to 32 songs now and I'm finished with the album. So that way, whichever way this thing goes, I live to perform all the records, then I get to enjoy the music I put out. If I don't, at least my kids do not have to look at other records sell and wonder why I didn't do what I was supposed to do when I was younger, which I didn't know anything, you know what I mean?
And that's because you don't own that music.
Right, I don't own it, and I didn't sign paperwork to own it. I was just happy to be rapping.
Right.
I didn't care about the future. I mean, I'm young, and it's like I get to be famous, I get to be on stage, and no one's pointing at the little guy no more and making fun of the little guy. Now it's, oh my God, it's Bushwick Bill. It's like, I was caught up in that, not being an item that people made a spectacle of just because of the way I was born. To all of a sudden being this person that's legendary, everybody respects. We just love this guy, Bushwick. It's like, I still remember the days when people pointed and laughed at me and threw things at me because look at the funny guy. You know what I mean? So
is that something that you can let go, or is it still a painful place for you?
It's still a painful place because that's what keeps me grounded. I do not believe that people love me just because I'm Bushwick Bill. I know that if I wasn't Bushwick Bill, there'd be more naysays than praise says. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be uplifting me, they'll be downgrading me. You know what I mean? So it's a place where it keeps me grounded to know that fame is a mirage. And like if I was in the desert for a long time and I really think there's water there, it's like if I really think people love me because I'm short, I'm lying to myself. Because if I wasn't famous, I would be living the life I was living before the fame.
Any regrets in your career?
There's none. I wouldn't have any regrets. You know what I mean? That's why I told my son I didn't really want him to speak today, because he has to get to know me. It's like, that's my journey now. It's like, whatever life happened when you couldn't be around me as a kid, whatever that situation was, is now take the time to get to know me. Sit here and actually listen to the interview and see what your dad is feeling, so you know something. You shouldn't be saying or thinking anything other than you don't really know how long you have your dad. Relish all these moments.
And you and Young No have spent a lot of time together. You guys were in the studio late.
Yeah.
I got texts from you guys from your son at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And you guys are working. You've been working on new projects.
Yeah, I got a song.
Tell us about the new projects that you have.
Oh, I'm really excited about the new project because it's...
And Mark, can we put up that album cover that they sent to us? And tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, and it's like, I would say to date, this is the kind of music that Tupac would talk about, where he says, I wear my heart on my sleeves. It's like, I didn't pull no punches, I didn't hold anything back. I'm letting you know what I'm afraid of, what my anticipations are, what this emotional roller coaster of a journey of dying after I lost my eye, coming back. The journey actually goes further than that, because if I remember before my mom passed, me and her was talking, and she's like, wow, Bill, you've come a long way. I'm 85, I come a long way. And I remember when I was giving birth to you, and you was a breech baby, and we both almost died. And then she's like, I watch you grow, and then I see you almost die again, and then you die. And then you're back again. And it's like, all she kept telling me was be resilient. Whatever it is, God ain't finished with me. It's like she knew there was something else that was going to come up, but she just couldn't say it to me. It's like she knew something, and she was just like, just stay strong and know that it's another journey. It's just another fight. You've been fighting your whole life from you was in my womb, so don't let this bother you. And she didn't know what this was, but she just does a last encouragement to me.
All right. And we want to thank you for coming on The Factor. For those who want to get that new music, where can they find it?
The new music will only be on Bushwick Bill Stream Live on my site strictly. I'm not giving it to Spotify, iTunes, anybody, because I don't understand Mariah Carey selling 150 million streams and getting $30,000. I'm so good on that. I'm doing it out the trunk on my site. You know what I mean? Like, the money goes to my kids, and the 10% goes to the patients, because the way I'm setting up my Bushwick Outreach Foundation, I'm not receiving the money to me at all. It goes into the bank, and I go to the hospital before the money comes in and find all the cancer patients who are like me in the situation where they tell you, come get chemo, and then the minute you show up, they be like, the insurance paid. I'm like, okay. Then it's like, but we can't do chemo today. I'm like, why? Oh, we need $3,178.78 before we could actually start. I'm like, but I did everything for the insurance to pay for this. It's like, so that shocked me so much and hurt me that I want to give the patients the money. You know what I mean? I want to go to the hospital, find out who needs help with their bill. I don't want to give it to a facility. I want to give it to the person. And I want that person to pay their bills.